its essence. Those infected became the first communicators of the knowledge and message these beings brought to Earth. These are also the beings movies like The Bee and The Knowing are describing. They have an agenda to take over the world completely, and they have major assistance from just about every main religious and social group. This is due in part to the powerful role they play in religion. The natural instinct for man to gravitate toward a mother goddess figure comes from the separation of our other half. The want to interact with this magical feminine being is played on and exploited by these imposters, some of whom are responsible for the initial split, or ma as it is more properly called. In addition, for the woman, since the goddess is androgynous, he gives her the son of the sun. She begins to see this as her husband, protector, and father figure. Most women are deprived of one or the other, if not both, in today's common society. There is obviously not just one faction doing all this. You would have to think, man and woman are a very advanced species. It would take a collaborative effort to keep them in the darkness of what the true reality is. 119 page. Reason 96. There was a saying, the devil has many names. I first found that to be untrue when learning who Satan was, especially since Satan and Lucifer are actually two different beings. When considering ISIS, however, it all makes sense. This is how the reoccurring savior theme exists, and the key component is always the mother with immaculate conception. Immaculate conception is really the deity having some type of intercourse with the woman, producing an offspring. This offspring then attempts to become ruler of the world in his father, the king's, stead. Many of the hyperdimensional beings want the title Lord of the Earth, so they never cease these divine conception stories. This happens now through the royal families such as Prince William becoming the next king. Their family history, however, is riddled with the involvement of various forces. They are carrying the bloodline, so they most certainly are not completely human. I do believe we have something in our constitution about that. What a joke. We as human beings are utterly ruled over in this dimension. Our needs are extremely meager compared to what we are originally entitled to, and yet those needs are seldom fulfilled. These forces also extend into the dream world and the afterlife, so there is no rest for the weary. Until they are confronted, they are consistently hatching plans to make an individual believe none of this is going on, somewhat of a strange zombie phase. I will tell you now, you can live every day in such a high state of energy, and these beings are jealous they cannot do the same. They are forbidden from it. It has gone, 120 page. Asleep, and them never to awaken again because of their corruption. All the blending, enhancements, and greed for power has made them numb. They don't even feel alive, they are the undead. This state I speak of that you can return to is not just the feeling of everything going well, but the feeling of having the perfect companion. Something so gratifying that everything external does not take an inkling of attention from it, as if it does not exist. You become wholly endowed with it, spiraling together, forming endless states of ecstasy. Their most powerful weapons are their religions. This gives the power to them directly from our own souls. It is time they are removed. I'm not sure if this will take place in large numbers, however I am sure that it does not matter. It is what you do individually that counts. There is a lesser light which emanates from below that spawns countless distorted images. Soon they will be placed in shoal in which we fixed a door for entrance and none for exit. Then the world will see freedom, if you but knew. Many looking now will say he is joking, but we do not jest. Now unveiling the goddess will take place as Madame Blavatsky claimed to do when she wrote her book Isis Unveiled. She of course was in no position to do such a thing, being fully initiated herself, and remember their oath is to keep silent. However, they are allowed to push propaganda and disinformation. Once again, the goddess as we know it was a play on words. There is actually a symbolic story being told about Adam and Eve in the garden with the serpent. It is known that this story should not be taken literally but has a much deeper meaning. It started with this uneasy feeling that there was something that was a big secret about the word women. You find woman in the remaining part of the name, meaning a deep hidden meaning. Eve is the root to the word evening. The Hebrew version is even weirder since the name used for Eve in Hebrew, Hiva, actually means serpent. According to the original Zohar, a major root of the creation story, it makes it clear that the serpent in the garden was a female serpent, not a male like it is commonly believed. Pre-Adamites or before Adam were masculine spirit beings called sons of the sun who took physical form and mated with these women. These female serpents, known as the race of Nemaya and Lilith, caused chief angels like Azza and Azrael to fall from their post and mix with them. The Zohar continues to blame Amalek as the wicked seraphim, while Metatron is called literally the good serpent. This is incredible. It admits Metatron is actually a serpent and goes on to admit that Enoch became Metatron once he was translated to heaven, thus Enoch was also a serpent. Several times the tribe of Shem makes it clear to indicate they are inbred with serpents. This makes it concrete that the Enochians are linked to the serpents. It says the priest came forth from the dead Sephanim who died in labor. The baby was born with the sign of the priesthood, which was a lustrous scaly hide. The baby had just been brought forth but sat upright immediately and showed the sign of the priesthood, and they were struck with terror. In the many Hebrew texts where it says, 121 page, he created man. To them he is the feminine attribute. The tetragrammaton is Yod-He-Vav-He. The Yod-Yah is the masculine fire entering the feminine He, birthing the child Vav-He, and the world will return to He, so they believe. Cohen, Hebrew for priest, is an anagram for Enoch. Reason 97,000 of children every year are indoctrinated into animist religions, depriving them of their true potential. One of the most widespread religions in the world, Judaism, still keeps Moses' depiction with horns on his head. The Kabbalistic tree of life is the same tree from the garden the serpent offered the so-called fruit from. This fruit was signified as an apple, which is a pentagram in its center when cut in half. As said earlier, that pentagram is the symbol of Isis, Sirius, Sothis and her consorts, also her opposite, when inverted, and they are together not separate, which we will address when it's proper. Someone once said that if you ask a person for an explanation and it becomes very confusing, it means they do not know themselves or they are hiding the truth. When asking someone in India teaching through Hinduism or someone in Judaism teaching Kabbalah how to increase union with the Most High, you are buried in 1,000-page Gitas with confusing Sanskrit words or mile-long scrolls of rabbis with nothing better to do than take one passage from the Talmud and make a 1,000-page explanation. Truly, do you believe it is that hard to enhance the spirit? Of course not. These people are placed in the way to make the journey lengthy and hard. As I said above, many have not obtained what they originally sought, which was freedom. Now they are enslaved by the religion, and their subconscious wishes to have company in their misery. 122 page. Reason 98. The five-pointed star is not the symbol of the perfect man, it is the star of contact for Sirius and all the various beings that make up the pentagram, including the inverted. These featherweights think the Most High has left this world never to return, and they are having a free-for-all. They know not, we even watch the all-seeing eye. Looking through ancient times, the moon was actually not feminine but masculine. The moon went by the name Sin and Ar. In so many ways the god Es shows that it is actually an androgynous serpent. Many women become moon goddesses to link with more women that are about healing and tapping into the feminine power, which of course is wonderful. However, I have seen the start and finish of many of these groups, and it almost always leads to initiations, and then if you reach the height of these organizations like those in Mount Asta or Sedona, just like ancient Saqqara, they go into deeper forms of yoga like Hatha, giving the neophytes strange names with false meanings to chant while opening chakras. Doing things such as imagining thousands of Buddhas filling their soul. Then they tell you that it's really all Hinduism and the power of Samhdhi, and learning to wield Shakti, the serpent energy comes into play heavy with Siva. The person is subtly lulled to sleep while the flute plays with the lies that the serpent just means complete wisdom. Yes, the serpent has a lot of wisdom, and it has been fooling man and woman with it with the helps of hybrids and traitors. Of course, many men joined the cult of the goddess imagining that it was a haven for beautiful forest queens who, when approaching, or should I say flowing towards you, bathed you in swells of spring marigolds as rabbits and deer bound behind them joyously laughing and singing in delicate waves of soul.